Have you ever stared out a window, perhaps on a rainy afternoon, lost in thought, your mind drifting through the currents of existence, and wondered, really wondered, about the big questions, the ones that keep us up at night? Can we truly find meaning, a lasting purpose, in a world that often seems chaotic, random, and ultimately to offer none? Is there a grand design, or are we simply adrift in a sea of cosmic indifference? We strive, we yearn for purpose in our work, pouring our energy into careers and projects, hoping to leave our mark, our relationships, building connections with loved ones, seeking solace and understanding in shared experiences, our dreams, chasing aspirations, envisioning a future filled with accomplishment and fulfillment, hoping, praying that our lives will ultimately matter, that we will leave behind something of value, something that resonates beyond our own fleeting existence. Yet the universe in its vastness and mystery remains silent, offering no easy answers, no comforting reassurances, indifferent seemingly to our human longing for significance, to our desperate need to find meaning in the face of mortality. We are but specks of dust in the grand cosmic tapestry. This disconnect, this chasm between our desire for meaning and the universe's apparent lack of it, can spark anxiety, a deep-seated unease about the nature of existence. But it also, paradoxically, opens the door to a new perspective, a different way of understanding our place in the cosmos. A perspective that embraces the inherent absurdity of it all, the philosophy of the absurd. A philosophy most famously explored and articulated by the brilliant Albert Camus. Camus invites us not to despair in the face of this apparent meaninglessness, not to succumb to nihilism, but to see this tension, this constant struggle between our desire for meaning and the universe's silence as the very defining condition of our lives, the human condition. A challenge, an invitation to live fully, authentically, and passionately, to embrace the present moment with all its joys and sorrows, even and especially in the face of cosmic silence, to find our own meaning, to create our own values, and to live a life of purpose, defined not by external validation, but by our own internal compass. Albert Camus, the renowned philosopher and author, grappled with profound questions about human existence. His concept of the absurd is often misunderstood. It's not about finding humor in the ridiculous, or a comedic take on life's challenges. It's something far deeper and more unsettling. It's the fundamental clash, the irreconcilable tension, between our innate, deeply ingrained human hunger for meaning, purpose, and order in the world, and the cold, indifferent, uncaring nature of the universe itself. The cosmos offers no inherent meaning, no preordained purpose, no divine plan tailored to our individual lives. It simply exists, vast and unyielding. Imagine calling out into the vast expanse of the cosmos, desperately seeking answers to life's biggest questions. Why are we here? What is our purpose? Is there anyone out there? And hearing only silence, an echoing void that offers no comfort, no guidance, no reassurance. Just the stark, unsettling reality of your own voice fading into the infinite. The absurd, in Camus' view, is that precise, agonizing moment of realization, the dawning awareness of this fundamental disconnect. Our questions, our hopes, our fears, our desperate pleas for understanding echo endlessly into the void. But the world, in its vast indifference, doesn't reply. There's no cosmic instruction manual, no divine intervention, no guaranteed happy ending. We're fundamentally built, both biologically and psychologically, to seek patterns, to find connections, to ascribe purpose to the events around us. It's how we make sense of the world. But the universe, in its stark reality, offers no pre-written script, no predetermined narrative, no comforting answers to our deepest questions. This inherent absurdity isn't a problem to be solved with logic or reason, a puzzle to be cracked with the right equation. It's a fundamental reality to be faced, a condition of existence to be acknowledged and embraced. Camus cautions us against the temptation to escape into comforting beliefs, to seek solace in illusions that shield us from the harsh reality of the absurd. Nor does he advocate for giving up entirely, succumbing to despair and resignation in the face of meaninglessness. Instead, he urges us to hold both our inherent longing for meaning and the world's inherent silence together, to embrace the tension between these opposing forces, and to see what kind of life, what kind of meaning, what kind of purpose we can actively build and create for ourselves in that space, in the face of that absurdity. The absurd, therefore, is not a dead end, a finality, an insurmountable obstacle, but a starting point, a foundation upon which we can begin to construct our own meaning, our own values, and our own purpose in a world that offers none on its own. It's an invitation to rebel against the silence, not with anger, but with creativity and passion. Imagine, if you will, finding yourself in a room shrouded in absolute darkness. A darkness so complete, so profound that it seems to swallow all light and hope. You can't see your hand in front of your face. The silence is deafening, amplifying the feeling of isolation. Picture yourself in this pitch-black room, a space that feels both infinite and claustrophobic, a void where every direction is the same, empty. Now, imagine you're driven by an unshakable belief that somewhere within this impenetrable darkness lies a key. Not just any key, but the key, the one you believe will unlock happiness, fulfillment, and the answers to all your deepest questions. You begin searching, your hands outstretched, blindly feeling your way through the void. You search for years, decades even, driven by this conviction. Each day is spent meticulously combing through the darkness, your hope flickering like a fragile flame in the wind. You stumble, you fall, you scrape your knees, but you persist, convinced the key is there, just beyond your grasp, waiting to be discovered. The search consumes you, becoming the defining purpose of your existence. But then, a chilling realization dawns upon you. A moment of profound clarity cuts through the darkness, revealing a truth you've been desperately avoiding. After all this time, after all this effort, you realize it never was. The key, the happiness, the inherent meaning you sought, it was never actually there, waiting to be found. The room, this vast, unending expanse of darkness, is the universe, a boundless realm of possibilities and uncertainties. Your relentless search, that unwavering pursuit of something more, mirrors our collective human quest for inherent meaning, for a preordained purpose, in a world that often feels indifferent. We yearn for answers, for a grand design, for a reason to justify our existence. But what if the key doesn't exist? What if the universe offers no inherent meaning, no pre-packaged purpose? Camus, the renowned philosopher, suggests a third option, a radical shift in perspective. Instead of futilely searching for a non-existent key, turn on a small lamp. The lamp, in its modest glow, doesn't magically conjure the key you so desperately sought. It doesn't reveal a hidden path or a secret answer. But what it does offer is something far more valuable. It lets you see your own hands, the tools you possess to shape your own reality. It illuminates the floor beneath your feet, revealing the solid ground upon which you stand, your strength, your resilience, your capacity to endure. The meaning, you begin to understand, isn't in finding the key, in discovering some external validation or preordained purpose. It's in the act of searching itself, in the conscious choice to engage with the world, to explore its possibilities, to create your own meaning. It's in the awareness and effort you bring to each moment, in the intentionality with which you approach your life, in the values you choose to uphold. The struggle itself, the constant striving, the unwavering commitment to living authentically, this becomes meaningful. This becomes the source of your fulfillment. The focus shifts, subtly but profoundly, from a distant, unattainable reward, from a future promise of happiness, to the richness of the present experience, to the beauty and complexity of the here and now, to the simple act of being alive and engaged in the world. Imagine an office, a desk, and an endless stack of blank papers to sign, forever. At first you sign dutifully, but soon the task feels pointless, a metaphor for a life stripped of external meaning. Despair creeps in, but Camus offers a twist. What if you make each signature your own? Instead of seeing the task as punishment, you transform it into a personal project. Each signature becomes an act of defiance, a small work of art. The meaning isn't in the outcome, but in the care and presence you bring to the act. Even in futility, you can affirm your existence. This is the lesson of Sisyphus, condemned to push a boulder uphill for eternity. Camus asks us to imagine Sisyphus not as a victim, but as a hero. Sisyphus knows his fate, but he owns it. He finds meaning in the struggle itself. The climb, the effort, the sun on his back, these become his world. His happiness isn't at the summit, but in the conscious act of pushing the rock. By embracing his struggle, Sisyphus transforms punishment into triumph. Camus concludes, one must imagine Sisyphus happy. Happiness is found in the defiant embrace of our own journey. Camus' philosophy isn't just theory, it's a guide for living. First, practice lucid awareness. Accept the universe's indifference without despair. Second, focus on the process, not just the outcome. Find meaning in the act itself. Third, embrace your freedom to create values. Meaning isn't found, it's made. Life is a blank canvas, terrifying but also an invitation to create. Finally, rebel by living passionately. Love deeply, pursue your interests, savor the details of life. Each act of engagement is a victory against the silence. In an absurd world, your presence and passion are your rebellion. The philosophy of the absurd isn't bleak or despairing. It's profoundly liberating. By letting go of the relentless search for some grand cosmic meaning, we gain the exhilarating freedom to create our own meaning and purpose. Meaning is not a fixed destination to be reached, but a dynamic quality of the journey itself. We become the active authors of our own unique and unfolding stories, finding profound joy even in the midst of the inevitable struggle, and cherishing the love found in each fleeting moment, and discovering purpose woven into the fabric of our daily choices. The vast universe may often seem silent and indifferent, but we, as individuals, are certainly not. In the end, actively creating your own sunlight is perhaps the most deeply meaningful and empowering act of all.